Hello, I'm JD and welcome to Nidiots. I see this, as you can see too, this is a very different setup. It's because I'm actually editing at the same time as this. This is my quick review of Jackass Forever. Now, at first glance, personally, I loved it. But I gotta be very honest on this. This is coming from a die-hard Jackass fan. Let's start off with some positives. First off, the original cast is incredible. It's great to see Knoxville, Steve-O, Aaron McGehee, Dave England, Pontius, Preston, Wee Man, and even Rap for a very split second. I only noticed him on the end credits, but I'll get to that in a minute. And as for the new cast, personally, Poopies, as stupid as I thought his name was, he was easily the standout of the new ensemble of the Jackass crew. So the things like, certain stunts were just incredible in this film, and I'll talk about more of them near the end of the video because I don't want to spoil too much. But as for the positive, the flavor of Jackass was still there, and also the cast did bring it when they were there. And on to the mixed reviews, Zach Holmes was okay as a new Jackass character, along with Eric and what was his name? Dark Shark, which was the dad of one of the guys. Jasper is another mixed one. He was pretty decent. But if we're going to the negatives now, honestly, Rachel and really just Rachel was pretty dull. And I thought that, considering she was a female, they were going to go all out. They were going to be women can do it just as hard as the men do. But in my honest opinion, she was a little bland. And actually, even backtracking on my mix, people like, Rachel, Eric, and Zach, they were alright, but they lacked the charisma that was with the original ones. Jasper was pretty decent, but Poopies was the only one, Sean Poopies, whatever you want to call him, he was the only one that actually stood out for me. But to be honest, it was a little bit of a letdown compared to what my expectations were of Jackass Forever. Most of the stunts that were good felt like they didn't really have an ending. And I don't know if it's just me, but easily of the main movies, 1, number 2, and 3D, this one had the weakest opening and the weakest finish. For me, it felt like it was off to a good start, but it felt like it didn't quite stick the landing. And I almost feel like they tricked us, because the first half of Jackass Forever was perfect, in my honest opinion. Yeah, it was my least favorite opening, but it was still a good opening. But then on the second half, it's almost like they couldn't stick the landing, and all the stuff that they thought was the big finales didn't really feel that big. And it felt like this one didn't have that one iconic big stunt at the end. Where the first movie you had the butt x-ray, second movie you had Terror Taxi, third movie you had the Poo Cocktail Supreme. This one didn't really feel like it had that massive finale stunt. And the stuff that it did do felt like it didn't quite hit home. But if we're talking about pure positive, the stunts that stood out in my opinion, and this is also, if I was going to be editing Jackass, this is how I would have done it. I would have opened with the new cup test, because that would have been a perfect opener. I would have then done, as my middle stunt, the middle big stunt, the magic trick, which is another one that's just gnarly. But honestly, I think the best stunt that they did in the whole Jackass film was one called Silence of the Lambs. And in my opinion, that's what should have closed the movie. But my quick, rough review of Jackass Forever would be that it's great as a movie, but it's only good as a Jackass movie. So yeah, great as a comedy, good for Jackass standards. I think of the 4, this is easily my least favorite. But that's not to say that it was a bad movie, it was just disappointing, but I think that's kind of on me, because my expectations were too high. Because when you count the fact that you got no Bam and you got no Dunn, it really did leave a CKY hole in Jackass Forever. And this did personally feel more like Big Brother the movie. The problem with this was that too many of their stunts felt like they kind of stayed too long. And all of them felt like they had abrupt endings, like endings that didn't really feel like boom, that's the closer. Like even the one with Aaron McGehee, the I can't remember what it was called exactly. Bear Stunt, I think they just called it. That one felt like it was building to something big, but because we didn't really see what went on, it didn't feel like an ending. And the Vomitron, in my personal opinion, is the biggest letdown out of all their finale stunts. And I can't tell if it was the finale stunt or if it was the ending, because you know how they kind of have like the final stunt and they have the ending. Like you have the butt X-ray, then you have the launch, and you know in the second one you had Terror Taxi, then you had the musical. Third one you had the Poo Cocktail Supreme, and then you had that ending of the movie. This one felt like the final stunt was also the big ending, and it wasn't quite the same the way they merged it. But I'll give Jackass a 7.5 out of 10. So it's still a solid movie. Anyway, I'm JD. You've been watching Idiots. JD out.